Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm hoping by now we're at 500 subscribers, so I think this will come out a bit later. I'm not in Uganda today. I've come from the UK, but I'm actually in Rwanda and I'm doing a project with Think Aqua. We're looking at how to help pond farmers, so it's sort of in my remit. But I think it's quite interesting for you to see some of the differences that we have here in Rwanda. So you're going to see some of that over the next few videos, so enjoy. So as you know, I'm here in Rwanda working with some fish farmers. But what's really funny is the organisation Enabel that's sponsoring this project, we're actually going to Rukungiri, which is exactly, it's in Rwanda, but that's exactly where I used to live in Uganda. So it's very amusing to me anyway, because it's a tiny little place, and what are the odds? I don't think you've seen this before, but I've heard of these systems, seen them actually. Basically you put rabbits above the ponds like this, and then you feed the rabbits, you can sell them, etc, etc. But these provide a good source of extra income, but they also, their manure the manure basically, or droppings, falls into the water and helps to fertilise the ponds for the fish. So it's a neat system for farmers because they get the best of both worlds, because you want to fertilise your ponds because that's free food for your fish, and you also get the benefit of extra income in terms of selling rabbits for meat. So yeah, it's quite a nice system. 5 ponds here. We're actually really close to Kigali city. It's not far at all. You can see here they're sort of tidying up at the moment. They don't have much fish. We're working on this project, so they're going to restart helping with training. You can see like the inlets in here. They've just been cleaning the banks. Yeah, nice to see the rabbits. They sell quite a bit of rabbits, they were saying here. And then the fish has sort of lagged a wee bit behind and been a bit sporadic for various reasons, but quite a nice farm. It's like some mixed crops, sugarcane that's been around for a number of years. Interesting ponds, and you don't normally see them so skinny. Very thin, but quite long, so you get some good production in there, and it's good for harvesting. This is the bigger pond here, you can see. So yeah, nice site, and it's really good to be back on the site. So enjoying that. And just on the rabbits part, what I should say is, this sort of is an integrated farming system, because you're not just farming one crop. Well, it's more actually that they're integrated, so they're working together, right? So you've got the rabbits and the fish working together in this case. There's other examples. Sometimes people put chickens and things in the coops. They're good systems. I've got nothing against them. I think there are some challenges, of course, with, yes, you get the benefits, but there's also a bit of downside. You need to have a bit more expertise, because you're not just looking after rabbits, you're looking after fish as well, and vice versa. You've got to have different markets to sell things like that. You've got to train your staff. You've got more costs potentially for bits of equipment. You've got to build the huts for the rabbits as well as the ponds, all those types of things. So there's a reason why people don't just do everything, because it's a bit more complicated. But I mean, I think integrated systems are great. They have their place, and in a sense they're trying to replicate what nature is doing. Nature is a food web, it's a system, everything's working together, well, or working against each other really. People eat things are eating each other, so very good for that. And I'll just zoom in, you can see the city of Kigali. So yeah, it's very, very close. And this is a former wetland. There's some beautiful, me, I love my wildlife, beautiful wild marsh over here. This is a former marsh, and they're fairly strict in Rwanda about what you can do. Oh, this is a former bird nest. It's very pretty. They're very strict about what you can do, and so you need a water permit to manage the farm. You need, you can't just have cattle, although I can see some cattle here. Look, some hoof prints. So practice and all that, but maybe those are just coming for a drink down here. There's some more sort of land there which doesn't look like it's being used currently. Maybe some casual grazing. So there's some definite differences I'm noticing between Rwanda and Uganda, which is fun to see. I quite enjoy seeing the differences, and then also some similarities. And I'm not sure what that bird is. I do like birding. I did bring my bird book because I'm always hoping to see new birds and see what I've got with, but I've left them in the car. So, oh no, we've got a predator here. So that is some sort of heron. I should look that up. But yeah, so you got some. You can tell that the dikes are a bit older. We've got some erosion happening. They were cutting the grass on the sides as we arrived, so there's definitely some things that they need to be. I'm sure they will be working on. You need to drain the ponds. They haven't been drained for a wee while, so get a lot of mud happening at the bottom. They're probably not that deep anymore, or as deep as they were. Yeah, overall, great to be back on farms. I really enjoy it. I always miss it when I'm in the UK. Today we are still visiting some farms. I'm in Rwanda on a project to help fish farmers. Got some very similar challenges to RAD farmers, and so it's good to be here to learn and to provide some support in terms of training and helping farmers. And I thought you might want to see this because it's quite different, right? There's some. What I tried to do is to show you any differences with what's happening here to over the border. Some of the challenges are the same, but I think you'll appreciate that. So do like and subscribe if you're able to. We're doing very well as a channel. We're very pleased with our progress, and it's your support really helps us to grow, because then we can make sure that people are seeing this footage who will also learn and take something from it. So thank you very much for your support, and hope you enjoy this video. On another farm today, and you can see school kids. That's the car we came in. School kids just setting up, and then this is the farm. Quite a nice site in terms of there's lots of swallows flying around, which I absolutely love. There's a bit of looks like they're doing some feeding here with some of the plants. I'm not sure what those plants are. They're just cutting the grass, getting everything ready for stocking. This is the 4th farm we visited so far, and yeah, it's going well. I meant to say this is day 2 of our visits for farm. One thing that they're doing here, which I thought I'd like to point out differences and just different ways of doing things. One thing they're doing here, so they have got I think 9,000 fingerlings, they said, in some of these ponds, 3 of the ponds. Interesting way of getting the fingerlings. They're struggling to get hold of hatchery fingerlings. So what they did is, I can see some now actually. You probably can't on the camera, just coming up. But when other fish farmers harvested their pond, sometimes you get fingerlings, you get little small fish, and so actually they paid for those per kilo. They just paid 3,000 francs, Rwandan francs per kilo for these fingerlings. Got about 9,000 of them, and then stuck them in the ponds, and then they don't feed them because they haven't got the money to buy fish feed. One other new thing that they do, which I don't know if I have seen this, but a bit different. This here is a bit gross. Get all the flies off it. It's okay, so nasty. Anyway, that's a cow stomach, and then they empty the stomach content. Which this cows have got 4 stomachs, in case you didn't know, ruminants. They digest it, and essentially that what's called green waste, which is just grass and whatever they've been eating. It's sort of a bunch of different bacteria in the different stomachs, and it's broken down so that the cow can access the nutrition from that. But that green waste gets put into the ponds, and it'll provide something for the fish, and at the very least it fertilises it. So that's how they're being fed. So it'll be. I doubt they won't be paying for that stomach. I don't think. So this is just a way of supplementing your income. You can see this is a cooperative owned, but there's no pipes. You can see the inlet over there, which comes from a stream up here. No pipes there. No pipes here. So it's just all sort of gravity fed. So there's a limit to the capacity of this group to do what they need. The water's changed quite a bit. It's gone grey. brown because they just opened this channel whilst we're here, and so obviously the water's flowing in with the dirt. So you get silting, which is why you need to empty your ponds and then when you're restocking. So it's quite an interesting site. Good chat with the farmers. We went through some calculations on yields and things. They're getting great yields when they've got these programs where they get the fingerlings and the feed, and they're telling me they're getting 600 to a kilo feed of the size of tilapia, which is very different. I've got a whole bunch of thoughts on that. But yeah, it's a really big fish from this program where they're just they're getting the feeds and the fingerlings for free. This, of course, is what they're doing. They haven't been able to get new hatchlings, fingerlings, and so they're resorting to quite innovative methods of getting the fish, and it's not costing them a huge amount. So yeah, it's interesting to see. This is we were just there, but they've actually got another site. I mean, but some other ponds. You couldn't see them from over here. But this is the main road where the car was, and there's like this little bridge. It looks very nice with the clear water flowing. Nice site. They're not all like this. I don't know if I probably should have shown. Maybe I'll try to capture some more footage when we go. I don't want to. This is I think interesting for you as RAD viewers, because you'll get to see different farming systems in neighbouring Rwanda. We're very close. We're probably only 3 or 4 hours away if you were to drive. But it's interesting to see, I think, how the geography is a bit different farming systems, different government, of course, different work, but it's similar challenges and problems. I'm on the last farm of the day, and I hadn't been going to show any footage of this because I thought, you've seen one farm, but actually this is a very interesting farm, so I couldn't help myself. One, absolutely stunning. Look at that. This is the lake. Just gone up my head to the lake Muhondo. There's the lake. You've got these fish farms, and then in the distance, can you see the volcanoes? Just all around. This is actually not too far from my place, but it's absolutely stunning, and I shouldn't. Obviously my farm's the most beautiful, but it's just absolutely beautiful here. You've got their yam leaves and cabbages. Some of this they use to feed the fish. And then they've actually got very, very interesting, look at the volcano now, a very, very interesting way of harvesting production. They've got 23 ponds, which is quite a lot. Very impressive. They started with one in 2007, and they've just expanded, and they've done a really fantastic job. You can probably tell I'm very impressed. I've got a lot to learn from them. But they basically do mixed sex, so they have male and female fish in the pond, and then sort of 2 or 3 times a year they will just take the bigger fish out. Big fish, 400 grams up to a kilo. They will harvest those and then leave their fingerling, the fry, in there, and then they will come back after 3 cycles in a pond. They will drain it totally, which is good because you don't want to get inbreeding. And then they'll restock with fingerlings from another pond. So very, very good system. And I think what's most impressive is that, they've been going for a while. They've expanded the number of ponds from 1 to 23 now. And they have had some government support, some support in terms of the cost of fingerlings. They've done some monosex fish, and they've also had some feed. But by and large, they haven't. They've been buying some of the commercial feeds here, just not feeding at a subsistence level, not subsistence, sorry. What I mean is not feeding as much as the fish might want, but just feeding, comparing different feeds that they can get, supplementing it with some yams. Very good fertilisation in this pond. The sun's come out now, which is beautiful. And you can see how pea green they are. It's really good. So yeah, very, very impressive. And I was just saying to them, because we're here to support on this particular project, but with these farmers it really is an exchange, whereas other farmers we visited aren't as successful. They've got their own challenges, but it's fantastic to see this project and just to see how well maintained and managed it's been over the years, and just how far they've come along. So yeah, beautiful site. I don't want to talk too much because this video is going to be very long otherwise, but I thought you would appreciate the beauty of the place. I'm trying to capture it all. Let me zoom out a wee bit, just so you can see that, and appreciate also just their commercial success over the years. So hats off to them. Very, very good. Very exciting to see, and there's just so many birds as well, which of course I love. So I'm just with Sam, who's the technician here, and he's just feeding his fish. He was saying he feeds 1.5 kilos per day, twice in a day, per pond, and then he adds 5 kilos of cow manure every 2 days. Yeah, that's very good. So the quality of the water here is fantastic. The colour, yeah. This one. Yeah, this one. Yeah. And how do you estimate the size of these fish? What do you think? Size? Yeah. Cool.
This.
What do you think?
Approximately between 600 and below.
Wow, 600 and below. That's very good.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, thank you. So this is a common carp in here, which is good. So you've got 4 ponds, Sam's telling me. These 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a new project?
Yes,
new?
this is new.
When did you
We are trying to do this.
When did you start?
About yeah.
About a year.
Yeah.
Fine. And these are becoming ready for harvest? No? How long do you estimate before
we are trying to how to reproduce.
Oh, okay.
We in a project.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you'll reproduce and then
we needed to reproduce
first. I understand. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So I think this is gonna. This wasn't supposed to be one video, but I think it will have to be now because it's such an impressive site, and I've captured so much that I don't want to make it a very long video. But really impressive group of people. It's great to see them innovating and changing and trying new feeds and having the good questions that we as fish farmers have. So very delighted to have come here. What an end to today. A very incredible, stunning location, of course, which is. Initially, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. Initially, I was like, I need to show everybody the background, but it's actually turned in because of how impressive this farm is. Obviously, I want to share their success with you. Hello, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. I'm actually back very briefly. Because we have some guests who've come. We're trying to develop this new technology with Aston University and some other partners that helps us to transport fish. We have troubles with the cold chain here and keeping fish cold. Currently we're using ice, but for many people across East Africa that's not really viable. Ice machines are expensive, so we're looking for a cheaper and more cost-effective solution. And what we've come up with is this box that you can stick on the back of a motorbike and then use it to transport fish, and it keeps fish really cold up to -20. We're working with Aston University to develop it. So we've done some stuff on it, but now we've just applied for some funding, and so we've got some visitors who've come to check us out and see, what is this innovation they've got, and I think it's very timely. So that's why I'm back, and this is sort of one of the challenges that we're talking about. So the ice machine at the moment is on currently, but we've been struggling all morning to produce ice. There's no ice in here yet. And we've got a bit, but it's not enough. That doesn't sound very good. So just these sort of challenges when the power's off and then it resets the machine and it's got to cycle through. Just really frustrating for people trying to go about their business, and we've got orders today, so it's a real challenge for us to to sell when we don't have ice. But this, and all we're needing is something you can stick on the back of a motorbike like this. This is a very nice motorbike. It's a government motorbike actually. But you know, something that a box that you'd stick on here, and it's got these panels inside which you cool down, and then it really works much more efficiently to transport fish. We personally would use it in conjunction with the ice, but for many other people, if we get this funding to develop this product, we will make this box, stick it on the back of a bodder, and then people can use it to transport fish across East Africa. So we are very excited about it, and we're doing some fish selling and all that as we would normally. We're going to take the visitors around and show them the site, and then talk a bit more about the innovation. So you'll see a bit of footage today of us doing that. We are just about to leave, to go to the site. I'll show you this later, but one of the things that's changed is we've managed to get some, oh, you can see me in the mirror. We managed to get these as offices, which is great, so I'll show you that later. Cross is going to drive me, Pauson's going on a motorbike. Ice is coming in a bit later, I think, for the fish. We're just about to leave. And we've got a busy day with our visitors, but it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to showing them the place and just sort of trying to highlight the need of this innovation. So wish me luck. Right, so I'm just leaving Pauson at the garage. Classic, get fuel, top up the oil, car trouble, and I'm going to just go to the hotel to meet our guests. We came in last night together. I was in Rwanda on this project with Think Aqua, and it's, amazing timing, because they were like, oh, we want to come see the farm, is that okay? As part of their checks to see, just to find out how we're doing. And I happened to be in Rwanda at the time they said, so I'm just taking the weekends to popped over the border, and then going to visit bring our guests Chris and Kalina over, just because it's, especially they haven't done much, a huge amount of travelling. If you don't know the way, it's easier to show people, because it's never that straightforward. And if you're a foreigner, it's just so hard sometimes trying to navigate. So did that. They arrived late last night with me. I stayed at Pauson, and now I'm just going to come pick them up. Oh, I can see them now. We're just here. But thanks, and see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching and for your support. Bye. So we're just showing Chris and Kalina Sam's feeding. We've got 2,000 fish in here. It's great to have them with us. Looking nice. We need to get some more fertiliser in this pond, I think. Looking a bit browner. That one's looking a bit green over there, which is good. So we're just talking about the pellets, 2mm, and then the crude protein content. I'm just explaining, we're aiming for 80% black soldier fly as the baseline, and then we would give them 20% of the pellets, just to massively reduce our cost. You can see they're still hungry. They can see my shadow. They're wanting to come and feed. But that stuff's expensive, so we try to avoid using it. And then the other thing, of course, is the pond is fertilised to help reduce the cost of production. Found something to eat there. So I'm just in the process of frying and sorting the fish. I was talking about some of the markets and the problems that we're having with not basically having a good cold chain, the challenges that cross in terms of spoilage and things like that. You got an example here. Look at this fish. That's the last of the fish, and then we put it in the batter, and then we deep fried, and then this will be hawked and sold. So Leo is just heading off with his fish. He's got 50 odd pieces in there, so he'll sell to his customers. He was telling me already, actually, bye Leo, Daddy. They're telling me that his customers already, as he was walking here, or cycling here, they were asking, have you got fish? So he should have a good day. Kalina's just tried some of the fish. Poor Chris, I think, is still recovering, so he's not had any, but I think she says it's really good. And we're just waiting for the landing site bodder to arrive, the motorbike, with the fish in the back of it. I want them to see that part of it. Yeah, it's going all right, I think. It's hard to tell. So we have the bodder arriving. This is the fish that have come from the landing site. How are you? Hi. Yeah. This is how normally they arrive. We'll open them up in a second. Nice big fish, but again, transported without any ice or anything. So we'll open them up and have a quick look at them. So I'm not sure if I explained this before, but we have. Carry on. Basically, it's okay. Basically what we do is we buy some fish from the landing site. The reason is we have some customers who are a bit wealthier and want big fish, and we're not really into the market for big fish, but because we're a business, we're selling these bigger fish. There you go. You can see these are much bigger than the ones that we provide. So we would take them from the landing site, come out, thanks Pauson, and then we'll sell them on to our customers who want the big fish, but we only do a handful of them really. But they're not quite as good condition as our ones. And then Humphrey will pay them the fish.
How many are there? 20.
You've got 20 bits. That's me then for this one. We just had Mustafa come, and the guy from it's good actually because I hadn't met him before. He's the gentleman that was bringing the fish from the landing site. See his name a lot on the records. We gave him a little bit of an interview asking about his fish losses. It's fascinating to me. Some of the stuff I didn't know. He's basically losing 3-4 trips a month of fish. Just because he's being delayed on the road, or there's something problem with his bodder, or there's wildlife like elephants or hippos will come on the road because it's a national park. So that would delay. That's a real African story, right? It's funny. So they will delay him, and then he's got fish sitting in the back of his bodder in a basket, not being called, and it can go spoiled. And that happens to him 3 or 4 times in a month. So he's losing a big chunk of money every month because of that. So yeah, it's just one of his concerns. So it's good to. I'll open the gate. Yeah, so it's one of his concerns, and it was good to hear him talk about that, unprompted, because I think it sets out the business case for these devices. And we're trying to show Chris and Kalina that this innovation we're proposing, which is effectively like a cold box, but it's not just, it's ready pre-cold, so it arrives cold. I'll talk about that, the technology behind that later. But anyway, so it's a really good tech because it will chill the fish, and then you've got time, which is what you need if you're trying to sell fresh fish. So he was quite interested, I think, in the concept, and it was great to hear him talk about it unprompted, because I think we're trying to show that this is a commercial. We need to test this thing. What size is it? How much should it cost? what materials, all that type of stuff. So that's the project that we've applied for, and then we want to see if there's a business case, and I think he's helped us to show that there is. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next video, and thank you so much for your support. Like and subscribe if you can, that would be really helpful. Maybe write a comment, why not? I always like reading your comments. Thanks and bye. This is Franco, who's been selling fish, and we are got not many left. He's doing a good job, well done. You'll remember Franco's bar, Franco's place. So she's doing a great job, and this is of course the market that we would normally sell at, but she's not gone hawking because she knew we were coming, and people have just come and bought the stuff, bought the fish, so sort of sold out, which is good, really good, very positive. We're now at the market. This is Pauson flour. See the mass, and this would have been filled. Gets absolutely everywhere. The guys wearing, it's quite funny, obviously they're Africans, but they come out looking very white because they're covered in powder, and then it gets sold here, and schools and stuff buy it in bulk because it's the cheapest food source you can get, and they give it all to the kids. You need a lot of other stuff with it, fish, dare I say. But yeah, we are now looking at the local market. Back to what we're doing. We want to show our visitors how fish is sold, processed, and yeah, you'll have seen a lot of this, but it's no fresh fish, all smoked and dried, and that's the fish. So let me put this down, and then we'll start chatting to this lady. So we've moved on from fish, and now we're at the butcher's.
Sorry for a second, I got like...
Yeah.
You will help with customers.
Yeah. And when they deliver that meat, how long it takes to sell it?
So this is the colourful market. I always like walking here, it's very colourful. See all the kids running around. It's good fun. I think we just had a good, interesting chat with the butcher. He's losing, he says, 150 pounds or 60 kilos of, he loses 20 kilos about 3 times in a month of meat because it goes off. Yeah, it's a real problem, and you can see here, I mean, even all this produce can go off as well. So people do lose quite a bit of produce. So again, talking to a tomato seller just here, shockingly, she loses about a fifth of her tomatoes every week, which is, imagine losing a fifth of your product, so she's out 50 kilos, I'll lose 10 kilos, which is a lot. Some of the other vegetables she doesn't because they last longer, but tomatoes of course are quite highly perishable. So it's a real challenge for people, this culture and stuff, and the more I think about this box, and obviously I like fish, but the applications for it for other products, I think it's great. And I'm hoping that we can turn that into get the prototype going that's works with people, and then that should be a useful product. So anyway, I think that's probably enough from the market. It might be a shorter video for you. Let's see if we can finish with the portion that we try and get them in frame. Just behind me, see the gentleman is gone very white. It's like you've gone white. Look at your skin. You've gone very white. So yeah, thanks for watching videos with us. Hope you've enjoyed today. It's interesting to come to the market and see some of the food loss challenges, I think. Just the sort of stuff that RAD is. It's funny, like you start off when you doing one thing, fish farming, and then you realise you go along the supply chain and actually you end up tackling all the different angles, and food wastage and loss is definitely a big problem for people. Of course, we can use some of that food loss for our maggots, but it's still not very efficient. It's better if people can actually eat it. Right, thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye. Looking at some BSF today. You can see here, these ones have hatched. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, normally you can tell because there's quite some considerable heat coming, but these ones I think have been left for a little while. Let's see if I can see any movement in here. Oh yeah, here we go, look at that. Yeah, it's just swarming with people. These are about 5 days old. So many. These need to be put into a bay because they are ready for maturation. But there's a lot there. Put them into the sunlight for you. You can see like our place is heaving, and it's actually quite dry in here and not very well. So many. Just dry basically, and not hot. So that means that the maize bran have all been eaten. Whereas this one, like earlier, it was much warmer underneath. Super spot, yeah, under these. Yeah, here it's really hot. Look, this is a bit drier. Drier as well, but there's so much heat coming off this. It's like it forms a crust. You can see them all moving. See them there? Yeah, there's a lot of maggots in there. And then what we do with these is we put this mosquito net over the top, and then the cardboard goes over the top with the eggs, and then they actually hatch through this cardboard. And then in here I think we've got some as well, but I'll check those later. But then you leave the cardboard and they hatch down, so quite good. And we incubate them in this part next to the ice machine where Prash is doing the washing up, because we are trying to get that, it's a temperature, so it's a bit warmer in here. It's not quite so chilly as downside because it's inside, protected, and that helps us with the hatching rates. We get good hatching rates. Our visitors are still here, Chris and Kalina, so they're getting the tour from Samuel. So I'll just go and let's see what they're up to.
Here, when they turn black and they fall in here, the reason why this depression is that they won't continue moving up, so they go in here, then I'll start collecting them. These ones are just from these ones are just from manure. These ones, but the black ones in, we don't have them in here. We normally collect them whenever they come. So they are the ones you've seen with the other side, and even you have some.
How old are they?
This one.
So you can see the love cage is back in action, and it's just absolutely teeming full of flies in here. You see them everywhere. And then there's the attractant, so they swarm onto this. Oh, you're using wood, Sam, that's good. So they will lay eggs in this wood here, which is very good. And then the fruit down the bottom. Sam's just uncovered this. Let's see how many there are. Down. Looking good though. Very good. So you're saying that which bays have FRAS? Sorry, which ones have BSF? 4?
They are now 3, but we're going to have the first one.
Okay. This one here.
And also we have other 2 batches we are hatching, so now we need to have 6 of them.
Yeah, it's looking good. This chicken is wanting to eat. You're chasing the chickens, Sam. And these 2. There's Andrew, of course, who's started helping us as well. Looks good, looks good. I visited somewhere in Rwanda yesterday. Guess how much kilos of larvae they produce per day? How do I guess? 10 kilos per day.
Oh.
And their facility is smaller than this.
Wow.
So it's very possible.
Okay.
So it was. I'll show you a video of it, but it's. So we're trying to produce 1 kilo per day currently, but we need to produce more than that. At the moment, 1 kilo would be enough for our fish, but eventually we'll need up to 7 kilos per day. It's very possible, Sam. Very possible. And then, how's the machine operating? Is it okay? Any challenges?
Only, the challenges are on power. It switches sort of
Okay,
off
yeah.
before we finish
Yeah.
it in
So this is the hammer mill, and Sam was just saying that it switches itself off. I think it basically trips the circuit, so we need to build a higher ampage, I think is the word, so that it can.
Actually, when it switches off, you find the other side,
Yeah.
the switch it goes down.
Shorts out, yeah.
The other side. So afterwards, we go back, puts on, but after it has gone off, it takes like 1 minute, it keeps on like that. So
Yeah.
it disturbs us whenever we want to feed mainly a lot of
Substrate, yeah. So we're going to try and get that fixed in the next month or so. So let me go and have a look at I want to go inside the tunnel. Okay.
Many of them are trying to
Yeah, it's looking good. So they're over this side, which is good. So obviously it needs some moisture in here, I think, Sam. It's a bit hot. But you've reduced the amount of places for them to lay.
They have to here.
You have 2 in there. 1 there and 1 there. So I mean, it's very nice and humid in here. This is working again.
Yes.
So we're at 40 degrees, 38 in the heat. So it's a little bit too hot for them during this part. So we probably need to add some water, I think. The humidity is too dry. We should spray water on the floor. And then any eggs? Let's just check. So we've changed it a bit. So we've just got 2 places now for attractant. Let's see if we can see those eggs. Yeah, I can see some in that little bay, and then here as well. Yeah. So yeah, we're still getting good hatching. Now look at this, loads of eggs here. Very good. How many grams are you getting per day?
Per day at the moment I'm getting around 2 grams.
2 grams? Yeah. So 2 grams if everything hatched. So 2 grams if everything hatched, you could generate 10 kilos from 2 grams. Oh, look at this, so many eggs. So if you had a good hatch rate from 2 grams, 10 kilos. So very possible to do more than 1 kilo per day. There's obviously a few things we need to sort of put right. I think one thing might be in here. The temperature's a bit humid. It's not humid enough. We need more water just to cool it down. So, we can try that. But good work. You're both doing a great job. So thank you very much. I see some big improvements. There you have it. We have the substrate. Oh, I didn't show you that. There's barrels of substrate there, barrels of substrate there. They're all full, which is great. Andrew's just getting some spray after that comment about the water, and I think it's slightly too damp. We've still got some teething problems, I think you can tell, but it's just leaps and bounds above what we were doing. The hatching is great, that's working really well. Egg collection, 2 grams a day is just dreamy at this point, and that should give us enough 10 kilos if we're all hatching through. So we definitely have definitely Sam's done a great job of improving things and making it work. It's just a question of us now tweaking those final bits, making sure we've got substrate, but I've got some good news which I'll share about Gatsby Africa in another video. But yeah, so we should be okay with some of the challenges that we've got, and I think that we're onto a good stage at the moment. So let me get my words out. So yeah, I'm about to head off. Going to go and visit some fish farmers now with a group of women. So to catch us on the next channel for that, next video for that. But thank you very much for watching. Do stay subscribed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome to the channel. This is the last of the videos from when our visitors are here. We've just arrived at the site. I've been here a couple of times. You might have, for those of you who've been long-time subscribers, will remember this is a group of women that are women-led farming. They've had a couple of challenges in the past. Had to relocate once because someone planted eucalyptus next to them and drained their pond, which is not very nice. But they are still trying, and we've, as RAD, have supported them. Pauson's done a great job as his job as an extension officer, and these are beans, in case you were wondering. And yeah, it's exciting to come back actually, because I love seeing their progress. Got cassava. Yeah, it's good to be around. Just started listening to what they were saying. So yes, it's good to be back, see their progress, and I think to this video you'll see some of the progress they've made. I will track some of their metrics, do some sort of data capture just for our own internal records, and just sort of show Chris and Kalina what some farmers like. This I would say is at the very bottom of the totem pole in terms of sort of ability, and I don't mean just brains or something. I'm talking about financial ability and just what they've got going for them is a very determined group of women who have achieved quite a lot given their limited resources and training and all that type of thing. So they're doing a great job, and we want to support them. But you'll see that it's a struggle. They don't have much income, so actually building ponds and things like that, stocking fingerlings, stocking feed, it's a challenge. But it's a very beautiful site. Here's the house. House is appearing in the midst of this matoke, and we're about to reach. I'll just turn it off and we'll say hi to people and then get our bearings.
Yes, I will soon mark this when we are working with you. Okay. At some point, county headquarters.
So I've just stepped away just to take some footage. You can see everyone's watching me. So this is the group. I don't know if you remember this site. I'll show that way. Probably will. This group of women, they've done well. So we've bought their fish from them twice now. We did 2 partial harvests, and then we've restocked with RAD fingerlings. So these are the type of people we will follow up on and see how they're doing. But it's really, what great success. We've given them a harvest, and then we managed to supply them with fingerlings, which I think they have. The only sort of drawback I think to that whole picture is it's not their fault, but basically they were given fingerlings by the government, so the government paid us, and then the government gave them the fingerlings. But from a RAD point of view, that's great as a business, but for them it would be great to see them where they are independently funding their own fingerlings. That would be the ideal, but and this water could do with a bit of fertilisation, but it looks good. They're doing a good job. They've got lots of yam leaves. You can see them all growing here. Those yam leaves will go into the production and just help with the stocking. They've got 2 ponds here. I think they're stocking both. I think Pauson said. One of the things I've been a bit slack on is just getting good farmer records. It's all there, but I haven't sort of teased out individual profiles of farmers, but I need to start doing that really. So yeah, it's an exciting time for RAD. We're doing well. Love it. It's good progress, and it's always very exciting. It makes me quite emotional, to be honest, to see the progress. They're very grateful. They were clapping for us, and yeah, this is the dream. This was the dream to help people like this, and actually to see money going into their pockets is just wonderful. It's a bit monotone, but yeah, I just love it. So good. So yeah. Anyway, let me stop waffling on about that. Let's look at something else, shall we? So I was trying to be quiet because those fingerlings, they spook easily, but they're doing well. They've been here a month, I think they are probably, I hate to say, put myself on the spot, but maybe 5 to 10 grams now. I think they were stocked at 1 gram from our pond, so they're doing quite well. And they've been given pellets. Not pellets. They were given 30 kilos of mukeni, which is dried fish powder. Because when they're young, it's good to get their growth as quickly as possible. They're not using fertilizer, which I think I've just told them that what you want to be aiming for is 5 kilos every 2 days should do it. And you just put it in a sack and then bring it back up. There's Pauson doing teach them about yams. And then in here, this is Deo's pond. So Deo's the gentleman with a stick. He's rented this out to the ladies. So I don't know what that arrangement is, but it won't be it won't be a big deal. And then here, on his pond, he said he had about 100 fish, he reckons, all about half a kilo, so big fish. But he's more interested in sort of just selling some at Easter, I think, and then eating some. So in about a month's time, he'll be doing that. So yeah, but I haven't seen any in this one. That'd be good to see. Oh, there's another one here. I forgot about this one. I think actually I do. Maybe I remember this one from last time. I think this is one they're working on. It's a bit much smaller, but it's it could do something. So there's definitely some fish in here because there's leaves and things have been nibbled, but I can't quite see them now. But yeah, they're beautiful. And then you've got the dirty river. So dirty, it's just because it's it probably rained or something, but it's quite heavily silted, lots of mud in it. Some brick making in the distance, and then someone's very loud radio, and then more potential for fish farms down this way. If they can expand. So that's what we're hoping. We'll monitor their progress. I should actually pace out the pond because just to update our records to get that a bit precise. All right, so that's it for another video. Thank you very much for your support of the channel. Thank you for keeping watching. We are just wrapping up and leaving. I've got Ugandan behind me, who was one of the first people I came and interviewed in 2017. I remember it well, sitting around his house and talking about fish, and come a long way since then. And so, you know, we obviously came in 2021, and then 2023 is when we really started being able to help farmers in some capacity, but not fully there yet, but we are getting there. And I just hope that our visitors, Chris and Kalina, who are visiting about this potentially cold box, let's see how that goes, but very excited to have made it so far. Hope you've enjoyed the videos. Do like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next time. Hello, welcome to the channel. This is an angle of our project you won't have seen before. I just want to start with this because we're doing some improvements. So you'll see this box here. This actually gets tripped out a lot because we're running the hammer mill, and it's not quite designed for the capacity. This is the water tank that we built, a great expense I might add. When you're building things like water tanks, you're like, oh, it doesn't feel like anything to do with fish, which is not very exciting. And things like this, so the electric runs overhead, goes down. We built like I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a electric pole there, which is the big metal pole. That just helps bring the load in, so it's not. Here we go. We've got this pipe as well, which we're using. Anyway, it comes in here off the pole. It just helps us so that we're not having trouble with power. But the reason I'm showing the fuse board is just because we're getting power outages. It keeps tripping the machine. So we just need to upgrade that because it wasn't designed for that meterage, and we were trying to do it on a. We're always doing things on a budget, but it's coming to the point where we need to do it. So that's exciting for me. Maybe it's a bit geeky. There's a pumpkin here. But the real thing that I wanted to show you, which I think is very exciting, is this. You see Pauson's just bringing some stuff, but these off the main here are our new offices. So the sound is going to be very reverberating in here, but I'll just show you. It's time. We have worked quite hard over the years. Pauson's had people staying here, as I was saying, just to sort of supplement his family home, because remember, he's staying in a house. He's got his mother staying with him, the maid, and then I normally stay down there when I'm here. Cooking area, very much a home, and this has been someone else's place to stay with washing facilities in here, like a room here and then like a lounge. But they actually left, I think about a month ago, and Pauson was like, what should we do? Do you think can we expand and get an office? And me and him talked about it for a while, and we've decided we're going to take the plunge and basically to put some offices in here, because I think we need to do that. So yeah, maybe it's not that exciting for everybody else, but for me, it just feels like a big milestone, is actually getting the capacity to. We've got a bit of furniture already, which we've acquired over the years. We'll put that in there, kit it out with. We've got one laptop, and we'll get another one. Get some Wi-Fi set up, and then it'll be really helpful to have a place to do work, and just dedicated place for staff to be able to come and do their reports and record keeping, that sort of thing. So that's that. And then let me just tell you some other good news, which I think you'll like to hear. Let me just tell you that news then. So, I just thought I'd give you some nice, hopefully some nice views whilst I talk and walk. So, when was it? Last trip here for me, one of the reasons I'd wanted to come is we had Samuel and Rachel from Gatsby Africa, who are an organisation that work across East Africa supporting aquaculture and forestry, textiles, a bunch of industries. But they came here because part of it, they wanted to see the model and what we were developing. And I think they really enjoyed their visit. And we've talked about this model and how it really helps farmers to produce fish commercially and to help livelihoods, all those good things that I've talked about over the years. And thankfully, they are impressed enough with the project that they're actually going to give us some financial support to meet the gaps that we have. So I'm beyond delighted about that. I think for two reasons. Obviously, the first reason is it's great to have some of the things that we've long needed, some of the gaps, if you like. So things like a three-wheeled bodder to carry substrates around, expanding our hatchery, a couple of new staff members, some office stuff. I was talking about that earlier. Some of those costs we've just had to not to pay because we've not had the funds to do it. But finally, we've actually got the financial capacity to do it. So for me, that's I'm Pauson, everybody involved, we're all very excited about that. And then I think the second reason is just, when you're building something like this concept of, a hub model, a hub farm that provides everything that smallholders need to succeed. They give them the fingerlings, they help them with the feed, with the BSF, they buy the fish off the farmer, they give them ice, they help with knowledge and expertise. That's obviously a commercial model, and I think that the hub is a great way of doing it. It makes money for the hub, so somebody like Pauson, who's one of the owners, but then it also gives money for the farmer, which we want, and then of course the benefits to the wider community. People getting access to really nutritious fish because they're small, they can afford them. There's a lot of malnutrition. It reduces poverty. So I'm very excited about that, and to have someone come along who also knows about aquaculture and say, actually, we do believe in this model, we like what you've done so far, and we believe in it so much that we're going to give you some funding to help with that. It's great. So I love it because it enables us to do a lot of things we've wanted to do, helps close the gaps between where we should be. If I was starting from scratch, all the things I do in one go, boom, we can fund all that. We've done a lot over the years, but we've had some great help. People like Think Aqua, KTN have helped us. we've, some support. Some of you have supported us over the years. We did a fundraising a while back, and a GoFundMe, and that was really helpful. Big thanks to you. Others are behind the scenes. Everyone's helped to build this hub, but we're not fully there, and this extra funding from Gatsby Africa should get us to that point, and then we can prove it. And I just feel like they've really validated this concept because they believe in it and they want to put money in. So I'm delighted for the funding and for the validation that, in their opinion, this is a good thing, and it's something that we could progress with. So that's the good news that I really wanted to share. I've obviously been sat in it for a while because I just think, well, these things can be a bit sensitive, aren't they? And I was a bit vague when they came to visit because I don't want them to feel under pressure. They could have thought it was a terrible idea, could have, it might not have been something they were interested in doing and supporting, but they are. I feel very excited. So I'm working with Think Aqua, Anton, who has been visiting. Me and him are going to be working closely on that and just sort of showing them over the next up to 12 months, I think, really, is this a viable way of doing business. So yeah, that's the good news. Just finishing my little amble down here. The place has changed quite a bit. This is Pauson's. Where's it gone? Oh yeah, it's back there. You see the back end of Pauson's place and the BSF. Just throw my hands there. That's the BSF. And then here we've got, they've cut down a lot of eucalyptus. And then just over my shoulder here, there's like a fenced off area. And it looks like they are doing some, I think they're going to make bricks or something. We've actually benefited from that because the person who's doing it is running some heavy machinery, so they've had to go to three-phase power along the road, and we can actually tap into that, and that will really help us with our power issues. And we've not had to pay for the extra, well, the cost of running three-phase, so that's good. This is the place actually. Am I in the right place? I'm getting my bearings now. Over this way behind the camera, is actually where we initially talked about putting some ponds in. That would have been quite nice in terms of the access for Pauson just being right near to the place. It would have been good for that point of view. The water quality might not have been as good because it comes a bit closer to town. Just crossing the bridge. See this sketchy looking bridge? Crossing that. Would have been good for that, but then I think we wouldn't have had excellent partners in NKD who have been fantastic. The diocese where we have the main production site. So yeah. Anyway, this is how long we're now. Oh, I've talked quite a bit. Right. Well, this will be the end of this video then. I think I'll talk a bit more about. You'll see some changes over the next few videos of the things that we're going to be doing. Tomorrow I'm spending some time with Samuel at the BSF, and we'll show you some of the progress that we've had there, which has been really good. So the next video will be about a week for you. You will see some of that progress. But for now, I hope you're as excited as I am about the news. I'm really thrilled. I feel very excited about it, and it's great to be able to sort of get mucked in, because we were growing. Let me just be clear on that, but it's just we can accelerate the pace. It's not just, we don't have to go as slowly as we were going to watch our funding. We can sort of take that bigger leap that we wanted to do. So thanks very much for your support over the years. It's been great to have you along this journey. If you're new to the channel or if you're not new, some of you have been with us for a long time. Really appreciate your support. This has really grown so far beyond what we had started doing, and it's really going into a fantastic place. So I'm very excited. I'm thrilled that you've been able to see this through the journey. So do like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. That really helps us with our channel metrics. I'd like to keep growing the channel and getting, helping people and supporting others as they do farming, BSF or fish or whatever it is. Hope it encourages you. Thanks very much. See you in the next video. Hello and welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing all right. This morning it was my last day here this morning. I'm going off back to Rwanda, but I'm doing some training with Sam. I've got my coffee, and I've got a guava here. So that will be my breakfast, I think, for the day. I've got they're just cleaning up behind me. The chickens in the room. So I think we've made some quite good progress. I think you've seen already the BSF that Sam has been incubating inside. But I would just want to check with him on the progress and specifically on just some of the challenges that we're having with BSF. Most of it is around the hatch rate's great now. So from the eggs that we're getting very, very good. The little larvae, the 5-day-old. And then what's happening is when we get to the stage where we're growing them out from 5-day-old to adult larvae, that rate is dropping fairly significantly in the sense that we would expect. So we're getting about 2 grams of eggs a day. So 1 gram will give you about 5 kilos of maggots at full grown, and so 2 grams should give us about 10 kilos, but we're not getting close to that at the moment in terms of our yield. So I'm just going to talk to him and see if there's anything we can do to work together basically, and sort of correct that. And then obviously also talk through some of the renovations that we're going to be doing, because we've got this Gatsby Africa funding to sort of improve the project, and of course we've got a bit of cash to do some upgrades and just correct a few things. So we've got already some materials. We've got these bricks here. These are locally made bricks, so they just get made out of clay and then baked. I think you might have seen that before on the channel. For those of you in Africa, you will have seen how they made them. It's quite a messy process, handmade. They get dried in the sun and then you sort of use for construction. So we can use some of that, and I'll talk through what it is that we're trying to do. So I'm just going to talk to Sam and see where we're at. So me and Sam have just been chatting about BSF. Thought you'd like to see, these are the eggs he's collected over the weekend. Let me just zoom in a bit so you can see them a bit better. They are quite dark, and that's because these are a bit dry, so they are actually not freshly laid. These are sort of over 3 days. And you can see actually what happens is the colour changes. So they're a bit darker, and this is what they look like. I'll try and get a real zoomed in picture there for you. And we suspect the reading there is 0.8 grams, so that's probably what there is in terms of the amount. And then he's collected this from a range of different sources, I think, Sam. So here we've got from the cardboard. Do you have eggs inside, or you collected them already from here?
These ones are from the Turkana.
Can you share? Do you have any with eggs? And we'll just have a look.
This one, they have eggs.
That side, yeah, I see. So let me just bring that into focus for you. There you go. You can see the eggs there. Very nice. So how many grams do you suspect we have, Sam, of eggs in this cardboard?
On this cardboard, we have around 0.8.
0.8 grams. That's good. So these cardboards are in the polytunnel just outside, and then the wood is here, and Sam's just finished this. So basically these eggs were inside of this wood. Yeah, that's right, inside there. And then and that's actually in the love cage at the end, which we try. So we're trying to do a couple of different hatching or laying methods. And then he's collected them here. He's retaped it up, and then the flies will lay inside there. And I'll just go and show you that polytunnel. They'll be fairly dormant at this stage. Well, not dormant, they're just sedate. Like you can see, they're not flying around much, and that's because it's earlier in the morning. It's not quite as hot, but there's a attractant there. That's some pre-pupa. That's the sort of for them to hatch out of, and then that's the cow dung, which is very smelly, but it's what they like. And then they'll lay. You put the wood on top of that container, and then they'll lay in there on the wood. And then this is the we'll have a look at the bays and I'll show you some of the maggots. So this is one of the bays with the maggots in it. And these have been here for 10 days now.
Yes.
You can see there. So they're getting much bigger. We're looking for about between 14 to maybe about 18. Can you see there's some steam coming off? They're much warmer in here. And there's sort of a musky smell. That's what we get. And then this hasn't been turned yet. You can see here this liquid that you get. And that which is okay, but we just need to, we'll add in some sawdust and some maize bran, and then it just helps to absorb the moisture. But you can see they all burrow right down. That's really hot, yeah. And you can see the vapour coming up. Yeah, great, that's very good. And they are just crawling around, just digesting all that lovely. There's a bit of cow dung in here, some vegetable market waste that we've chopped up. And that's what we've got. Well done, Sam. This is Sam's record book, so I'll just give you an idea of what he's doing. So he's got, so look at this, these are the dates.
Total incubation.
Yeah, the day of
This
each.
is when they will put on maize bran.
Put it on the maize bran, okay.
This is the amount of eggs we put.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the bay in which they will be put.
Yeah.
And this is the day when they are put in the
Yeah.
bays. So like you see this one on 1st of March.
Yes.
This one and these ones actually were put in bay for, but I hope these ones I finish collecting them because there were a few. The hatching was not good, so we collected around around 2 kilograms of maggots.
2 kilograms from that, yeah.
So that one I refreshed it, and now we've put new ones. I think we can go and see.
Yeah.
The ones that we put now, these are the ones now. I'll put them on sardines.
Okay, yeah.
You see, bay 4 again. So this one, I finished then, and this is a new cycle in the same bay.
Makes sense, yeah.
Sardines.
And then these ones here, so that the ones we've just seen in bay 3. With
Bay 2, we were saying bay 2, they were on
bay
8.
2, yeah.
Bay 3 we are yet to go and see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bay 3.
So this one, we just saw these ones in bay 3, and they've had 10 days, like I said,
Yeah.
and these have had 14. So
Yes.
that's roughly when we're looking to harvest. So we're going to have a look at bay 3 and see how they're doing. So we're just looking, this is the bay 3, so we just looked at that bay. These were 10 days old. These are 14. And you can see quite a big difference. There's still a lot of maggots in there. It was a bit less because we've collected some was saying.
Yeah.
But just look at how they're not moving. And that's because they're getting ready to pupate. So they're basically going to turn black, and then they will crawl up this slope, just getting out of the bay. So they'll crawl up here like this, which is the slope, and then they'll fall into this trough, and then you'll collect them from there. So you can see there's a bit of an angle. I'll show you like that. There you go. They crawl up that slope. It's about a 30-degree slope, and then you collect the pre-pupa. They turn into those black casings. I don't think we have any here. Just check. Can't see any. Yeah, so they haven't started coming, but they are getting ready. So that is a sign for us that those maggots, if we were going to use them to feed our fish, that's what we want to be doing. Yeah. Oh yes, that's right. So yeah. So these came on the 14th. So these have had 4 days. Yeah.
They were put on satin.
5 days, because it's the 18th today. These have been here for 5 days, so we'll just have a look. Ah, look at that, yeah. See, a lot more movement. A lot more movement, which is good. And there's still a lot of the older ones as well. You can see the difference in size. So from the last lot of maggots that were in here, I can still see some of those in there, because it's very hard sometimes to collect all of them, especially the way that we're doing it. And that's fine. Some of those will turn into pupa, which we want, and then some of them will turn, we'll just stay there and we can harvest them next time. But you can see the movement, the size, they're much smaller, and that's purely down to the fact that they're younger. So these are 5 days old, but they're looking very good. See all that movement there and the sound. There's some construction next door, but hopefully you can see some of that. Look at that. Yeah, this is all very good fish feed. And we'll just check this bay, see if we've got any.
This one I put on Saturday. Saturday was
Saturday.
16th.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one I put on 16th.
Oh, okay. So this is the next one. So we've got quite a good production here, and it's always nice. And so if you're looking at maggots, and you're a farmer of maggots, you should know your dates. You need to sort of keep an eye on when things are happening, so that you can, future-proof yourself in terms of what you need. So much smaller a quantity. How many grams of eggs was in here?
These ones I think are also 3 grams.
So it's about 3 grams in this bay.
But because the substrate is free, because they are also put on Saturday.
Yes.
So today we must add
Yeah.
a lot of.
So this is the second day.
seed.
Can you see the difference in size? Absolutely tiny.
See here, they are
Yeah. Oh my
they are
goodness.
combining together. They come together to eat.
Yeah.
So you can zoom in here.
Wow. That's a lot. So this is 2 days, and as you can tell, we've not put much substrate in, but that's fine. That just helps them because it keeps them huddled together. And then today, Sam and Andrew, who also work here. You haven't met Andrew yet. You might have seen him on screen. He's been around and done casual work for us, but he's now working a bit more full time. They will add a lot more substrate here, and then we will have the volumes we need. So we've got 4 bays, and then this bay I think is frass. Is that right? So that one is frass, and then the one right at the end is also frass. So we have 4 bays at the moment of production. We've got our sawdust here. You try not to use too much sawdust because of course they're not digesting the sawdust, but what it does is it just absorbs that liquid that I was talking about in the bay there, and that's our production. So some big improvements since I was here last, and I'll just what I'll do in the next video is I'll just talk about some of the things that we're about to do. So yeah, so I'm gonna tell you about some of the things that we're going to be doing in the next few weeks, few months, just to improve on our production. But I think you can see that we've made some quite big strides in production. We've got a consistent supply. I like the fact that there's the dates are coming in now, the quantities of eggs, so we can predict. But thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your support. Do like and subscribe, comment. I'm always happy to talk to you, to get our staff to talk to you on YouTube and support you that way. So do share as well, and we'll see you on the next video. Hi there, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel. I wanted to, on this video, just show you some of the things that we're going to be doing to improve on our processes. I hope that will help you as you try to improve on your black soldier fly production, and you can sort of join us with this journey and sort of understand some of the challenges that we are having. Some of those might be ones that you're doing. As you know, we've got some funding from Gatsby Africa, and together with Think Aqua, we're working on implementing some of those changes that we need. This is probably the first thing that we're going to improve. Just zoom out a bit. So basically, we currently have substrate collected. So there's some. This one I think is full of what's called green waste. So that's when cattle are slaughtered or other animals, the inside, their offals, the inside of their stomachs is full of undigested feed. With cows, that's grass, things like of that nature. That's very nutritious, but it's a waste. And so we've got a contract with a local butcher from the government actually, and we collect that. So that's full of green waste. And then these are a mixture of different things. See if I can open one of them for you. You can have a quick look. This is matoke. So this is traditionally what's eaten here in this part of Uganda. Here, we're surrounded by matoke plantation. I'm not very good at my bananas, but I think actually these are sweet bananas, and then matoki are the ones with the really dark stems. So in the distance you might be able to see one. Let me see if I can zoom in on one. That one there. I'll give up. I'm not about bananas. I'll find out and let you know. Oh, there's one in the distance, I think. Let me zoom in, just there in the foreground. Anyway, right, bananas. So yes, that's the matoki. This one's empty actually, because that was full on the weekend. They've obviously added that in. So yesterday must have added some. And then this is the sort of more the market waste. So that's what I can see in there: jackfruit, I can see watermelon, I can see pineapple, and a bit of bananas, some leaves, things like that. So that will get mixed in with, we'll shred it first with the machine, and that gets mixed in. So this needs to be improved. We've only got 4 containers at the moment on this little bay, but I want to add a lot more because our production is going to increase, and you're going to be, if you're doing a good job and you've got a large volume of substrate being collected, then what you're struggling with is normally substrate volumes. So that's one improvement. The second improvement we want to make is around sort of how we're processing the substrate. This is our hammer mill, and you can see Sam's writing on it. So on a bit of a wonk. Let me try to get you level. So that's level, and you can see how actually that bit is where we feed the substrate in, and it should be sort of angled down a bit, and it's sort of almost level. So it means that you can see how unlevel it is. Let's go like this. Yeah, there you go. You get a good idea. And that's just the slope here. It wasn't made level off the ground, and we'd like to drag this out. There's 2 reasons. One, I want it to be level, so I want a level surface here, so that we can shred, and then the process of actually shredding is much easier because it's going down into the revolving drum, as opposed to sort of just staying there. And then 2, when you're shredding, of course, it's a bit messy. You can see sort of that hammer mill's not looking it's a bit grubby. So you don't want any substrate in the bays because that attracts rodents and chickens and all sorts of things. So it's better to have it out here on a nice concrete slab. Once you're finished shredding, you can wash it down. We'll collect the water from that, and then that water can be used to irrigate your crops, just because it's a bit of organic matter. Just keeps it nice and clean. We also need to do that, we need to improve the electrics. I mentioned the other day about how the power supply here is tripping that end, so we want to improve that junction box and just improve on the hammer mill. And then the third big improvement that we're going to do is to do with this. This is the frass. So we've got bags of it here, and I mean, this is great stuff. Let me just give it a sniff. So it smells fantastic. It smells like really good soil. This is very nutritious and very, very good. You can see more bags of it. This will be a bit drier, I think. Yeah, but it's actually getting a bit wet here because we are not protected from the elements. The stuff on top's dry, but the stuff underneath is a little bit clay-like. We don't really want that for our customers. You want it to be in the best condition possible. So we don't have a storage area. That's what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to do is use some funding just to build a simple storage area. I'm not quite sure where yet. We don't have a huge amount of space here, as you can see the boundary, but we do need to put some storage. Maybe over there we build a nice little storage area, very simple, with a protective roof over the top of that, and then we'll use that just to help us in terms of protecting the frass. And then the frass, we can turn it, and then we've got plans for another thing that we're going to do. So you can see here what the plan that we want to do, in a sense. So this is just a bag. I don't even know what this is. This is Ungus giving some advertising for whoever these people is. I think this might be for, what is it? I think it's probably some sort of maize brand. Oh, here you go. This is wheat flour. So I think what we want to do with our frass is basically make a sort of start to package it. So we might do this is a good 50 kilo bag. Maybe we do a smaller bag, 10 kilos or something, and then we package up the frass. We have our logo on it, we say what it is, we put on the back what it's used for, and then something like this where it talks about the composition of what's inside. I want to get it, send it off to a lab and then analyze it for the NKP, so the nitrogen, the phosphorus and potassium. I've just drawn a blank. But anyway, so when you're, because it's fertilizer, so whatever it, you know, all the components that you need for good fertilizer, that's what I want on the back, so that farmers can see, oh, this has been a lab tested product, this is what's in this product, and this is what I'm going to use. And I think that sort of level of just raising up the sophistication of the frass will help us in trying to get some sales of frass, and it'll also be useful for when we start to resell maggots in bulk to farmers. What they're getting left is frass, and then we can tell them this is the nutritional content that we got in our frass. It'll obviously different depending on what you feed your maggots, but at least it's some help to farmers to know. So that's sort of the fourth thing, and then just a fifth thing would just be little things like just improving the area, just a few repairs inside, a few holes with sheeting, a few bit more bits of equipment, that type of thing. That's generally what we're going to try and do. Hi, this is Andrew. Hi Andrew, you okay? Andrew's just, I was mentioning, he's the other gentleman who helps us, just started really. Well, actually he's been around as a contractor, but we're going to probably formalise his employment. There you go, there's another improvement. So things like that, those small costs that we've got, some security, cameras, lights, just to improve the place. That's the other thing that we're going to be getting with the GA funding that will really help with BSF. So those three-wheeled bodders, so we can use those to transport the substrate and get to go to fish farm sites, buy fish, sell fish, move fish, all those things. It'll be very helpful if we have one of those three-wheeled bodders. So there it goes up the hill. So we're looking forward to that. And then more generally, that's what we're going to be using the funding for. There'll be some other things I'm sure that will come along, but that's what we've costed in. But we will also need to improve on our practices in terms of BSF. So I was just talking, we actually hatch the BSF inside the house behind me, but we want to just sort of tidy it up a bit, get a better hatching, check the temperature for that, and then I think the hatch rate that we're getting, the collection process isn't working that well, so the survival rate of the eggs, some of that I think is down to temperature. So one thing, in this polytunnel, I was there the other day, and it was about 40 degrees, which is really it's too hot. So there's a couple of things you can do. One, it was fairly dry because it hadn't rained, so you need to be adding water to the ground. That evaporates and then cools down inside, adds a bit of humidity, which is also good. So then the eggs that have been hatched on that day, those eggs aren't drying out because it's a bit more humid. The temperature's a bit lower because you've added water and it's evaporated and cooled down. And the other thing is you need to make sure you're collecting them even over the weekend. So they get laid, you collect the eggs, and then you're storing them ready for their hatching in about 5 days in a better condition, so they're not sort of cooking, as it were. So those are the improvements that we're going to be making in the next few weeks and months. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and maybe some of those things will spark it for you. Think, oh yes, I should be doing that with my production, and that will improve. I'm just sat by these old stumps that we dug out. There's about 4 of them I can count, and they're huge. There's a lot of work going into. I think Andrew's, for instance, who's contracted to remove some of them. And there's this beautiful tree behind me that I can lean on. I really like this. And then there's down here, there's some hedge coming along as well. So nice place, and it's looking very, very good and very beautiful. You know, as you know me, I love nature, so I love seeing the progress that's being made with nature, just things growing up. I love that. But thank you very much for watching. Do like and subscribe. I hope you stay with us, and we'll see you on the next video.